Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I want to share with you how to make some really delicious and easy salmon fajitas. These are my sheet pan salmon fajitas. I love them because of their simplicity and how easy they are to put together. The oven's ready. And I also love that you can make a big batch of them in the oven, so you're having people over for dinner. It cooks a lot and it's very little work for you. You can take some shortcuts from the grocery store, which I'll walk you through in a little bit. But for now, let me run you through the list of what you'll need, which is not very big, but they're all the right ones. You'll need some salmon fillets. Mine don't have the skin on them because I don't need them, but if yours does, it's fine. I've got an array of bell peppers, a couple of onions that are red and a yellow. I've got some garlic. You'll need some fajita seasoning, store-bought or homemade, whatever your heart desires. I had some store-bought ones, so that's what I'm going to use today, but you can scatter the web for fajita seasoning mix and make your own, which I'm sure you already have the ingredients on hand for. Then you'll need some soy sauce, lime juice, light olive oil or any flavorless oil like an avocado oil will do, a little squeeze of honey, and then for the topping, which I love to do this really delicious slaw, this jalapeno slaw. What I've got here is just some coleslaw mix. I love this. You can buy it pre-made, pre-shredded. It's got regular cabbage, red cabbage, and carrots all shredded, cilantro, lime, avocado. You'll need a jalapeno and some salt, which I don't have out here yet, but I'll get to it in a second. All right, let's get going on marinating the salmon really quickly. Now, because I'm adding citrus juice or like an acid to the fish, I'm only gonna let this marinate for about 20 minutes or so. Any longer, and then it starts cooking, the acid starts breaking down the fish and you'll end up with ceviche. So never marinate never marinate seafood with acid overnight because you'll end up with ceviche. Delicious, but that's not what we're going for here. In this bowl, I'm going to add soy. I'm going to add a little bit of light olive oil, something flavorless, a little squidge of honey, just to balance out the saltiness and to balance out the lime, the acid from the lime. I love this recipe, and I'm actually going to cut this in half because it's pretty big. Well, could I fit? Yeah, I could fit the whole thing. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big lime, so probably just going to use half of that. Reserve this for the slaw. And then I'm going to need some garlic. A couple of cloves of garlic. I'm going to finely chop them, and then I'm going to add the salmon in there and let it sit for, like I said, 20 minutes, and then we'll work on the peppers and the onions. If I can get the garlic out of here. Adding the garlic and the cilantro. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the salmon right in. Just make sure you kind of coat it around. I just want to make sure that it's touching the marinade. Trust me, because it's so strongly flavored, like the soy and whatnot, it's going to give it so much delicious flavor. Now that's going to sit aside for like 20 minutes or so, maybe a little bit longer. The oven's preheated to 425. I've got a large baking sheet that I've lined with parchment paper that saves me on some cleanup. What I'm going to work on next is slicing my peppers and onions. I want them to be about the same thickness so that they cook evenly. So I'm just going to cut this in half, core it, and then just slice it into some beautiful slices. All right, so I've got a lot of onions and peppers here sliced. Now, it looks like a lot compared to the 3 pieces of salmon, and that is because there's only going to be 3 of us for dinner tonight. Otherwise, I would put more salmon on it, but also the roasted veg with all the juices and the spices and everything. Oh my goodness, left over on a salad or like on top of rice tonight for dinner are so delicious. So I always make sure to make extra because we just love it. So to the veg, I'm going to add just a little bit of light oil. Like I said, this is just light olive oil. Make sure it's a good amount, a couple tablespoons, and then some of your fajita seasoning. Now, my fajita seasoning, because it's store-bought, it's already got some salt in it, so I don't need to add any additional salt here. Otherwise, it would be too salty. And now I'm just going to go in and really massage everything to make sure all the peppers and the onions are coated, and it smells so good. And I'm going to pop this into the oven now because the veg just need a bit of a heads up cooking time before we add the salmon, because obviously the salmon cooks a lot quicker. So these are going to go into a 425 oven for about 20 minutes or so, and I will show you what they look like when they are done. And meanwhile, the salmon is fine. It can just rest there until I am ready for it. So I want to work on the slow now while the peppers are in the oven because the acid from the lemon juice is going to break down the cabbage a little bit, which is exactly what I want. So in here, I just have the coleslaw mix. I've sliced a couple of scallions. I've sliced a little bit of a jalapeno. This jalapeno in particular is so hot. The batch that we bought are super spicy, so I'm only using half that I've thinly sliced. And then a little bunch of chopped cilantro is what I meant to say. A good healthy pinch of salt, and then the juice of half of the other lime because it's a really, really juicy lime. So I'm only going to do half, but if it was a smaller, not so juicy lime, then I would do a whole one because I want this pretty limey. And then I'm going to just toss everything together with a fork and let it just sit aside for the remainder of the time everything needs to cook, which once the salmon goes in, it'll take another 15 minutes or so, 10 to 15 minutes. The peppers are in there, so it's got a good amount of time. So just toss it all together and you'll be surprised what happens in the next 10 minutes with that lime really breaking down the cabbage but still keeping its vibrant crunch. And it's just so limey and delicious. Oh, I forgot a very small drizzle of oil just to get everything going. And that's it. You set this aside and then you're ready to go. The peppers were in the oven for about 20 minutes. Now you take your beautiful salmon fillets that just pop them right on there like so. Beautiful. Oh, it smells so good. Gorge, gorge, gorge. Don't you dare throw away any of the marinade. Just pour that right over everything. Using my clean hand, you sprinkle a little bit of your fajita seasoning on the salmon. And you're going to pop this into the oven for about 15 minutes or until the salmon is fully cooked through and it flakes really easily. My mouth is watering. It smells so phenomenal in here. I'm hungry. I'm going to pop this in. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. The thing's yelling at me because the time's up. Wash my hand first. All right, so once the salmon went on, I popped it in for actually 20 minutes and it is just perfection. It smells so good in here. I'm gonna just sprinkle a little bit of fresh cilantro over top. Now, this is gonna sound really crazy, but you know me, I'm a crazy loon. I just really like the idea of just putting your slaw right on top, right? You serve this whole thing at the table with some warm tortillas, a little bit of fresh avocado, and look at this. Suddenly, you've got an absolute magnificent feast that didn't take you a lot of time to put together. You can buy pre-sliced onions and peppers at your grocery stores if you want to, or you can cut them up and slice them up a couple days beforehand if you're coming home at the end of a long day and you know you've got people coming over. And it's just magnificent. You don't need rice. You just need some warm tortillas, which I do have. I'm a corn tortilla fan, so that's what I'll be serving. But you don't need rice. You just need corn tortillas. I've got some avocado here that I'm going to slice up and serve it with. I've got fresh lime here to drizzle over the top and squeeze on top. And it's just, I want a little bit of slaw right now and a little bit of pepper. And then I'll go into the salmon. But it smells fantastic and looks welcoming. It's exactly what I want to serve to my friends and family at the end of a long day. It's fun. It's easy. Whoa! Something was hanging. It fell down. It's fine. It's all good. It's a twist on a classic that you know most people love. And it's fabulous. And it's also a great way to make salmon go a long way because two people can share one fillet because you're going to be wrapping it in tortilla. I'm going to have a piece of salmon and the slaw. That is perfect. That's what I want to eat for dinner. That's what I am going to eat for dinner, and you could be doing it too. Go to laurainthekitchen.com to get the written recipe. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me. I will see you next time. Bye.